In this video, we are going to see the fourth experiment of Measurement and Instrumentation Lab. The aim of the experiment is to develop an instrumentation system for measurement of instantaneous power, real power, apparent power, and reactive power. In order to measure power, we need the information of both current as well as voltage. If we are able to acquire both current and voltage, we can calculate instantaneous power as P of t equal to V of t into I of t. See, this is instantaneous power, that is for each and every time instant it will be varying. But more useful quantity is the average power, and it is the real power, that is the average of instantaneous power over a certain time period. In digital domain, after sampling, the average power can be evaluated as we have calculated average value of waveforms like this. It is 1 by n summation of I equal to 1 to n V of n into I of n. Next thing is apparent power. So if we can calculate RMS value of both current and voltage, if we multiply the RMS value, then what we have is the apparent power. If we know real power as well as apparent power, we can also calculate reactive power. Reactive power formula is Vi sin phi, where V is Vrms, I is Irms. For that we require sin phi. How to find phi? Okay. So we know that power factor cos phi, which is real power by apparent power. So therefore phi is cos inverse of real power by apparent power, and once phi is known, we can calculate reactive power also. So let us develop this LabVIEW program. Okay. In order to simulate the acquisition of current as well as voltage, let us create two simulate signals block. Let us set the frequency as 50 Hz and ensure that your sampling rate is at least 20 times the frequency of the signal. By default it has 1000 Hz as sampling rate, and it is enough. Let us create few controls to manually adjust the amplitude and the phase of the voltage. Similar to voltage, let us also create another simulate signal block to simulate the acquisition of current. Here also let us create few controls for amplitude as well as phase. Let us create a for loop in order to evaluate the average power. The number of loop iteration is equal to number of elements in the array, and make sure that both the voltage and current has same sampling rate and the same number of elements. Okay, let us pass the voltage to array number of elements in array block, and let us connect the output of the block to n in the for loop. For calculation, we do not require the timestamp, so let us use from DDT block to remove the timestamp. Okay. In the for loop, let us calculate the instantaneous power first. What is instantaneous power? Instantaneous power is the product of instantaneous voltage into instantaneous current. Okay. Next, we need to evaluate average power. For that, let us create a shift register. This is not average rectified value, we are evaluating average power. So we do not have to create, or we do not need to use the absolute block. So summation of all the instantaneous values, after taking the sum, we need to divide it by the number of elements. This calculation of average is similar to what we have done in previous experiment. So I hope you are able to understand it. Let us create an indicator. This is real power from first principles. This is the real power from first principle. Okay, in order to graphically see the waveforms, let us create two waveform graphs, one for voltage and other for current. Right click, under graph you will have waveform graph. Okay, next let us create an XY graph for plotting the instantaneous power. Why I am using XY graph is because once we have removed the timestamp, the time information will be removed from the data. Okay, so we need to manually create a timestamp, and that we need to give into the x-axis of the graph. By default, if you use waveform graph, we will be considering the array index as the x-axis if timestamp is not available. Okay, so let us connect this voltage to those voltage block, voltage signal, and current waveform graph to current signal, and we need to generate an array for x-axis of instantaneous power. So for that, let us create another numeric control where we feed in the sampling rate. We have set sampling rate as 1000. Okay, let me make it default. If required, we will change it. Right click, data operation, make current value as default. Now place the sampling rate inside. So in x-axis we require time. Okay, so 1 by sampling rate, that is 1 by sampling frequency, will give the sampling period. So let us take reciprocal of sampling rate, and the time axis will always be the multiples of the sampling period. So I am going to multiply with the iterating variable I in the for loop. Just take it outside. Output of both the instantaneous power and this x-axis will be in the form of an array. In order to plot the XY graph, okay, we need to create a bundle. Okay, right click, in the programming you select cluster class and that choose bundle. our x-axis is going to be the time series and y-axis is our instantaneous power connected to the graph. Okay. Next, let us try to calculate the RMS values of current as well as voltage. Okay, either you can use the blocks as we have done in the previous experiments, but instead since we have gone through the basics, we directly use a standard block available in LabVIEW itself, that is basic DC RMS. Okay, basic average DC RMS, you select this block and place it here. We require two blocks, one for voltage and other for current. Okay, once you have placed it, connect one of the signal to voltage and other to current. And after selecting, placing, connecting the signal, just right click it, in visible item choose polymorphic VI selector. Okay, by default most of the LabVIEW blocks are polymorphic. Based on the input data, automatically it will choose the corresponding blocks. Okay, by default if you use basic DC RMS, the output will be N channel. In the sense it is valid for several channels in a single dynamic data. But in our problem we have only one channel. If you use N channel, output will be in the form of array. Only the first element will be there and all the remaining time will be 0. In order to remove that, we are using this polymorphic VI selector, in that we are selecting only for one channel. In the output you have both the DC value as well as RMS value. For the apparent power, we require the product of RMS value of current voltage as well as RMS value of current. Let us create an indicator here. This is apparent power. Okay. If we know real power and apparent power, we can calculate power factor. The power factor is real power divided by apparent power. Let us create an indicator here. Create indicator. This is power factor. Power factor is cos phi, and in order to calculate the reactive power, we require sin phi. So first we need to take cos inverse. The trigonometric blocks will be available in right click, mathematics, elementary, trigonometric. In that choose A cos. A cos stands for arc cosine. Arc cosine in the sense cos inverse. Okay, now we have phi. This we will pass through sine block. Once again mathematics, elementary, trigonometry, sine. Now we have sin phi. This apparent power into sin phi, that will give the reactive power. Let us create an indicator here. This is reactive power. Okay, it will work fine. Okay, just in order to compare the result of the real power calculated from our first principles, let us try to evaluate V cos phi manually, because we are manually giving the voltage phase as well as current phase, so we know the phase difference. Okay, it is just for evaluation. In practice we do not use it, but for doing the experiment and for evaluating whether the calculations are correct, we are doing this. That is, we are going to evaluate VI sin phi. So VI cos phi, assuming that you know the phase angle. So for that, first we require the difference between voltage phase and current phase. Okay, and this difference, for the simulate signal block, the phase angle will be in degree. So therefore, we will be directly entering the phase in degree. But this cosine sine block in mathematics, that will be working in radians. So we convert this degree to radian. Either you can manually connect the blocks, or there is a standard block available, degree to radian. Select that block. It will be available in mathematics numeric scaling. So now the phase difference is in radians. You pass it through the cosine block, mathematics, elementary, trigonometric, cos. Okay. Now let us evaluate VI cos phi. So already we have V into I here, that I multiply with cos phi. So this is the real power from VI cos phi formula. Okay. Let me enter units for all the blocks so that it is meaningful. This amplitude we are entering in volt, voltage phase that we are entering in degrees, and similarly current amplitude that we are entering in ampere, and the current phase that once again we are entering in degrees. And the instantaneous real power what we are calculating, that will be in watts, that is voltage into current. Power factor has no unit. Apparent power, that also has something called has the unit watt, and reactive power has the unit watt. Once again here for the formula, the real power unit is watt. Okay. Let me arrange these blocks. Real power, real power from first principle, real power from VI cos phi formula. Then we have apparent power, power factor, and reactive power. See, we have also used a sampling rate block. Keep it in mind. If you are changing the sampling rate in the simulate signal block, you have to correspondingly update it. So please keep that in mind. Okay, let us set an voltage amplitude around 200 volts, and current amplitude let it be 1 ampere. You may change it for your convenience. Okay. See, initially voltage and phase, voltage and current are at same phase. That means zero phase difference. Now let us provide a phase difference of 30 degree. That is, current is lagging by 30 degrees. You can see that the instantaneous power has some negative component. Let me observe the real power as well as reactive power. So you can see that because of the negative component in the instantaneous power, we have some reactive power. Next, let me put current phase as minus 90 degrees. Here you can see that the real power is almost to 0. Let me expand the block. See, it is 10 power minus 14. In practical sense it is 0. Okay, here also even if we are using the formula, okay, due to numerical approximation in a very small range there may be difference. Okay, it is also in 10 power minus 15. So the value is 0. And even power factor, let me expand the block so that it is visible clearly. Even that power factor, okay, it is in the order of 10 power minus 16. In practical sense it is 0. So through this experiment we have developed a LabVIEW system or LabVIEW program for calculation of instantaneous power, real power, reactive power, apparent power and power factor, etc. And we have also compared the results of the real power calculation from the first principle where we have calculated the average power, as well as from the formula VI cos phi, assuming that phase is known. Actually this particular part, that is real power from VI cos phi formula, is not practical unless you know the phase of the, or unless you know the phase difference between voltage and current. Here just for verification purpose, since we are manually entering the voltage and current phase, we have entered it, and this calculated value we have compared with the real value. In fact, you can see that for whatever may be the phase difference, it will be same. Okay. Thank you.